not streaming. Is it streaming for you? Hey everyone. Oh, I see Rich in Jersey on. What's up? How you make them little hearts go by? What the heck? Yeah. I don't know if anybody can hear me yet, but I wanted to start this off with Q&A. Okay, there I am. Perfect. I'm gonna take this headpiece out. If the audio levels are too loud, let me know. Yeah, I see the 400 subs. Um, I didn't quite make it by the live stream, but yeah, I'm pretty excited about that myself. Thanks everybody for all the shares and everything. But you know, put your put your questions on there below, and we'll start. We can talk about gear, whatever you guys want, before we get to the live stream. I guess I can talk about what I'm building now. So where's this? So I'm completely new to this live stream thing. It wasn't as bad to set up as I thought. So this is the giveaway drone right here. Um, we'll take it apart and dissect it and look at it a little bit later. And then this is what I'm currently building. It is another Secret Weapons. I didn't get it finished by the live stream. Ta-da! And little red board for race flight. I'm finally going to try that out. So I've done the beta flight for forever, and I've flown race flight, and it flies nice. But I kind of want to do a comparison point of quads that I built identical for one on race flight and one on beta flight. I don't think that I'm going to use this board for my identical quads test because people have. I'll try it, but people have complained about they use like a 90-20 gyro or some special gyro on this that Betaflight doesn't like and can't filter the noise out. So, oh, is there no audio? Oh, good, perfect. So I don't know if that's something that you guys are interested in me doing as a test on that, but so I see a question in here: idle up switch or arming switch? Um, yeah, so I saw that a couple weeks ago. Like Steele posted something, and he was saying that he uses an idle up switch and not air mode, which blew my mind because air mode was such a big innovation to the hobby when I switched to it because I always use the idle up mode myself. But you know, flying with these guys that Rich is on, hi Rich, flying with these guys in Jersey in their parking garage, I can certainly see the point for using an idle up instead of air mode because you hit the ground and the quad will jump 3-4 feet in the air, and by that point you're in the roof. But I love to fly in air mode. I think air mode's it you can do a lot more at low throttle because you get with idle up you're not getting the full. So the way or at least the way that it works in beta flight's allowed so much of the throttle over the ESC, and in air mode it allows it to go full 100%, which is why when you arm in air mode and you have a prop on backwards, like the thing flips out, but in idle up it won't do that because it only has so much authority. So when you're in idle up and you have the stick all the way back, the rates won't be the same. But when you're in air mode and you have the stick all the way back, it's going to flip and roll exactly the same as whether the stick's down or stick high. So I like air mode, but idle up for a parking garage or like where you have low head clearance is probably really good. Okay, what else is in the comments? Okay, audio works for me. Oh, where did spoon come from? I was at an event and someone asked me, "How are you so fast?" And like this Matrix line came from me, and it's like, well, first you have to realize there is no spoon. So that's where the spoon came from, if you were wondering. Plus, I thought it was kind of catchy. So no, you didn't miss anything. I'm building a 385 gram all racer. Okay, the audio is a little dim. I can bump it up if you guys complain. Let me know if that gets to be too loud. We need better motor for 4-inch racers. Yeah, like who flies 4-inch for their racing quads? I've seen like I've kind of wanted to try a 3-inch quad after seeing some of the stuff, but I've flown 4-inch before, and I think that's actually a good point that we need better motors that are designed to turn a 4-inch prop. Like I think that's what's really letting it down is that there's not something with the right kV and the right torque to to make a 4-inch, because a 4-inch, if 3 inches can be blazing, a 4-inch should be pretty blazing. Yeah, exactly. No one flies 4-inch for racing, but eh. And I did a big spreadsheet for myself when I was looking at this and trying to figure out like the perfect thrust to weight ratio, and it was pretty clear like what's available on the market for motors is not there for making a like the penalty for the extra inch, like it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I need to build a 3-inch quad. That's pretty much after I get like my entire build list done. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, because they sound awesome. They look awesome. Uh, they're not as fast, but it would be fun to go to an event and whoop up on some guys with 5 inches with 3-inch quads. So the Diatone Crusader GT2. I've heard mixed reviews about that. The UAV Futures. He really liked his, but I've heard some people having issues with ESCs and such on those. Or but you know, I guess that's a QC thing. But for out of the box, I've heard that they're pretty great. So I've never flown one myself. So I'd like to get my hands on one. If you know somebody at Diatone, like have them send me one. I'll certainly do a full review on it. So 90 degrees up tilt with HS 1177. is uh is is Anthony on? I don't see him on. But he did that at a race. He switched from like 30 degrees to 80 degrees, and I was like, you're not even gonna make it around the track. Don't be messing around with stuff. But I guess he's not here to defend himself, so I won't say anything. So let's see, how many people do we have on the stream now? Okay, you're gonna see this. Okay, that's weird. So there's currently, yeah, maybe there's 31. I'm gonna stop all that crap. Wow. Okay, perfect. Like I said, total noob at this streaming thing. So get the FS, not the BX for beginners. Believe me. Yeah, are you, Jersey? Are you talking about the secret weapon, FS 5 instead of the BX 5? I agree with that. I think there's Anthony just making fun of him. So yeah, I bet you can make it around the track. So, but you lost $20 on that one. Yeah, and the FS versus, so here, let me switch my overhead view. Okay, so this is a BX5 and it's kind of a it's a great racer, and I think I talked about this in my other videos, but a it's a little bit more challenging of a build. Now with the Betaflight flight controller, that's the all-in-one. It actually was pretty simple, and this is the new ROSD, the version 2, and it actually cleans up quite a bit over the version 1 ROSD. I just switched this out, which was kind of an upgrade for this. So this is the BX5, and then this is the SW5. And then this is, so whoever wins tonight can get their choice between this guy, which is already all built up, the BX5, or you can have SW5 that I'll build up with the exact same. I bought 3 of everything for this so that I'd make sure that I'd be able to give it away. So I'll build up another one exactly like this for you if you want the SW5 instead of the BX5. So I guess it's winner's choice. This one's built, this one's tuned, and oh my gosh, these Emax, Emax has been a staple in the motor market. I mean, they brought this is the old one here, the RS 2205. So these were killer motors, and people still fly them, and they're still very competitive nowadays. And then there was like the T motor and the Hyperlight and the ZMX motors, and all of those are a little better than this old one. This motor, oh my gosh, like it blew my mind. It's when I flew this guy to put the tune on it, and it is an absolute monster. I'm super stoked to start my season on these motors, and they're inexpensive too. I mean, well, as far as like high performance motors go, they're $3 or $4 a motor cheaper, which adds up. So especially when you have as many quads as I do. So yeah, SW5 for a beginner, in my opinion. I think so. Any opinion on graphene batteries holding better voltage toward the end of? Um, I've flown. I don't have any packs with me, but I've had mixed kind of things on graphene batteries. My experience with them, because I think I fly the Lumineer packs, the Lumineer graphene packs, and they're a pretty impressive pack. In fact, like a lot of times when I get to the very end of it, like if I don't, I fly with an amp or current meter on there, so I have my amp hours used out of the pack, and I mean on a 1300 I'll get it down to, 1,000 milliamps used, and the pack still like does not sag. You can't feel that it's going out. So that graphene pack performs incredibly all through the range. But I've had some reliability issues with them. I've burnt out a couple cells on them, and the newer ones that I've got from them seem to be okay. And I think graphene lasts longer. So I that's all I fly nowadays. I'm not going to buy any packs that aren't graphene. And as far as like the high volt stuff, I have not found a high volt pack that I am satisfied with, because they definitely do not last as long. Yeah, the Turnigy graphene packs can take your crap. They're heavy, though. So I think, and most of the weight on those packs is the freaking shrink tube that they put over top of them. They put like 10 grams, 15 grams worth of shrink tube on the outside of it, because they use like the heavy, I forget the material, but you can get PVC shrink tube for them and take 10 grams off of that pack if you're a weight weenie. But maybe they won't take as much abuse. Maybe that's why Hobby King decided to go with those. So the Thunder Power that fell out of the air at 11 volts, did you kill the pack, or was it still good after that when you recharged it? Because I generally don't kill packs like that anymore, because I've been flying with OSD, and I hate ruining packs. So The only time I'll kill a pack like that is when I'm pulling the last lap on a race event, and I have to get the last lap in. Heavy but reliable. Yeah. And um, as far as reliable packs go, I don't really have much good to say about tattoo batteries, but as far as like cycles and beatdown that I've been able to do on packs, the 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 tattoo batteries have taken the most abuse of any pack that I've used. They don't perform like at the top level of the packs that I like to use, but as far as like something as a beater pack for every day, it, I like tattoo for that. So, and a lot of guys will poo-poo me for saying that, but there are a lot of tattoo fanboys, and I'm one of them. But I would not race one. Is my answer on that. Ever replace a cell within a battery? Yeah, I have. So I actually keep my burnt when I drop a cell in a pack. I will keep that in a bag of other batteries that have cells dropped, and then like I'll do a day where I rip packs apart and take the bad cells out and build up new packs out of those with whatever good cells are left. You kind of have to be careful when you do that, and I mark them separately, and I wouldn't recommend it because what you're okay. I would recommend it for me, but I wouldn't recommend it for everybody, uh, because what you're doing is a lot of times you're putting you might be putting a pack that has 50 cycles in it with a pack that has 5 cycles through it, or 10 cycles through it, and then when you charge the batteries, the cells that you pulled from one pack aren't going to have the same internal resistance as the cells from the other pack. So and I don't know if that really makes a difference with the chargers that can do all the balancing, but I'm still leery of doing like a high current or some sort of balance charging or any. I'm really leery of charging those type of packs for that reason. No jersey, only the test packs. Yeah. So yeah, Rich knows some guys over at uh, I can't think of the pack manufacturer now. They're the Reeve Electrics, and he was trying to get us some graphene high volts, and I think they hit the market with those. And Josh reviewed some, and they're gonna send him some when they get it right. Some of those packs, because like those were they didn't meet our spec. Yeah, sure, I can make a video of how to switch batteries in your pack. I think I've been kind of behind on my workflow, so I certainly have a bag full of batteries that have killed cells in them, so I can do one of those for you. Yeah, I charge with a on top of a metal container in my basement against a concrete wall, and sometimes in a lipo bag. I'm not really the greatest with charging carefully, but with those I like to monitor them when I charge and actually sit in the room with them. Try it, but charge outside. Yeah. If I could bring one tool to the field with me, what would it be? It's got to be the prop nut tool, because that's what I do the most is change props. So, and then they make. Oh, do I have one? A little tool bag over here. So, oh, I'm holding this where you can't see it. Uh, so they make. This is the DAL prop nut tool, and it does different sizes of prop nut. and I've seen ones that actually have wrenches on the ends as well. And that would, if I could only bring one tool, that would be what I would bring. And then if I could only bring two tools, what is it, whatever this is, I think it's a 3mm Allen wrench for like all of these screws, and that's pretty much what I use anyhow. So how about those two tiny Luminaire? Let me pull one out. You're talking about these, the AXI antennas. So far I haven't even thrown them on a scale, and I don't have my scale here. Sorry, guys. But these guys, I think the RF performance on them is decent. I haven't done a full test on these. Let me grab. I could grab an antenna and be silly with it. So this is the Duraspec, right? This giant. Oh, here. Let me show you my bag o' antennas. So this is like my bag of antennas that I bring to the field. Okay, I'm just pulling stuff out of. So, I mean, comparatively, they're smaller, but I need to do an RF test on them, like where I actually fly one out on the same day as I fly another antenna that I use out. And the antenna, I don't have any of them. The ones that I'm using now, because I don't have any of them up here because they're all on my quads, are the Foxeer, the little $10 Foxeer antennas that you've seen that are orange or black or green. The RF performance on those has been absolutely stellar. And as far as durability goes, here, let me show you something else. So, these are all my TBS Triumph antennas that I have. And if you notice, not many of them have broken the bulb part, which is what you always break, but all of them have ripped the SMA off. These are the RP SMA. That's why I still have these, because I broke the freaking adapter. So that doesn't really help me. But all of them have ripped the SMA connector off the bottom of it and were completely useless after that. Now they make the stubby version of it, which is supposedly, which they've Team Black Sheep says that they've fixed this, and if they say they fixed it, I totally believe them. But as far as the oh, I can actually show you something on Google. As far as the Foxeer antennas, so these guys right here, I don't even, oh, GearBest, okay. These guys right here, I've not broken a top piece on them. I've not ripped one apart. The way that I've been failing these has been I hit things and I bend them over so much here that I strip off part of the insulation on the backside. So let's see what we got in the comments here. Good luck to everyone. Oh, Johnny Vermont, Leatherman, of course. Like, that's cheating for your one tool. What do you use for soldering equipment? I use a Radio Shack soldering station, and it's not what I would recommend. I'd actually recommend a Hakko or Hakko 880 adjustable soldering station, because that's what I use at work, and they're fantastic. They can do small stuff, and then they can do high heat stuff. So at home, my soldering station, I'm always switching between a heavy soldering gun for soldering large gauge wires and my little soldering gun for soldering, or soldering iron for soldering small connectors and such. So I'd recommend the Hakko or Hakko 880 soldering iron, because it's ETA on the. Are we getting bored with hearing me talk? I can do the giveaway. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was on here. So let's say 10 minutes, I'll do the drawing for the giveaway, unless I run out of stuff to talk about, and then we'll do it then. So. Yeah, Weller makes a great iron. Yeah, and that's what I use um, for my handheld. But I would totally recommend a temperature controlled iron for anybody that is asking, because it helps. A lot of times, like the Weller that I use does not have the temperature control, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can certainly get things way too hot. And okay, it's a bad joint if it flashes over at the end and it's white and not shiny. That means that you got the solder too hot and you've oxidized it. Yeah, that is a lot of broken Triumphs. So, but the RF performance on them was pretty good. So, oh yeah, I wouldn't recommend the one from Radio Shack. I would recommend the let's see if we can pull it up. It's like the, yeah, 880D right here. Like, just just Google Hako, and like this is this is the soldering station to have. It will do small stuff. It'll do large stuff. It will, and the temperature control on it. You can switch the tips. Like it has everything that you need, and it's 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 basically among uh, people that do soldering work. Like that's what the pros use. So yeah, FX8. There you go. Catching up on the. Do I fly big or build big multi rotors too? Uh, I I don't. I mean, I've built some big multi rotors before, and for yeah, and for work, there's like a large multi rotor that I'm working on. But I don't really like. I don't. I don't know. The larger stuff, it's just it seems slow and lumbery, and it's not fun. Like I want something that's like zips around, and the larger you go, it seems like the easier it is to break stuff. And anybody that knows me or anybody that's flown with me knows that I give two craps when I'm out there flying, and I will just jam whatever it is even my favorite racing quad, like into a concrete wall. So because like that's how I fly. So, and and for the most part, I can pick up the small ones and dust them off. But once you start going over 6 inch, 7 inch, like they start getting heavy enough that they don't take the abuse as well. You burn the pad off of your TVS Unify. Which pad are you talking about on the Unify? I only have the V2 Unify stuff that I did my review on. Um, this one's not open, and you can't see that. Get some of this crap out of the way. So, which pad are you talking about on this? There's big pads on the back. I don't even know what those are for. I'd imagine that this is a ground pad, and I don't know what the other one's for. Um, there are also pads that they put on the side of this, which I think is really nice, that do exactly the same features as these. They're interconnected, so like if you wanted to make a package like I showed and like really make it small, you can solder directly to the side pads. The random picking is going to be through a random comment picker. So let's see right here. This is the Sandra Scary's random comment picker, and you put in the YouTube URL. We load the comments in, and I guess I can. In 5 minutes, I'll do that. Thoughts on KISS flight controllers? I have flown them. I think that they fly amazing. I think that they're simple to set up compared to Betaflight and, well, the way that Betaflight used to be. But as far as feature set, Betaflight has caught up with KISS on everything that they're doing. So for me, there was no real advantage for me to switch. But the stuff that I've flown on KISS has always flown really nice, and I would totally recommend it for a beginner because you know that it's going to work when you and you're not going to have to fiddle with stuff. So, but I think that for racing, I think KISS is behind what's now available with the BLHeliS and Betaflight and the notch filters and the ESCs don't perform on the same level. They did drive they were a year ahead of everybody, but I don't think that they've really advanced much since then. So KDE motors. No, I have not used the KDE motors. Are they supposed to be good? If you're willing to say, what is your job? I am an engineer. I design custom measurement solutions. I do a lot of hardware design and electrical component design. And I've been pretty fortunate in the last. I'm going to say it now. Matt was asking me before this. I've been pretty fortunate in the last year. I've been working on the hoverbike project, and we're calling it the JTARB at this point with the government. And what it's a big quadcopter that's designed to carry 300-pound payload, and the military is interested in using that to carry supplies around the battlefield and do that last like 25 miles of supply chain. So, and if you haven't noticed from the crew cut and the clean shave once a month, like I'm in the National Guard as well. So, anything that can save soldiers' lives and take people out of that. So I stand 100% behind. So that's and I've been really fortunate to work on that project. That's been such a cool thing. I went to the UK to the Farnborough Air Show and was standing out there with all the guys like with $1 million airplanes with like this giant quadcopter, and like we stole the show. It was pretty cool. So there were engineers from Saab actually came over and said, "You guys have the coolest thing here," and I said, "You guys have a fighter jet. Like you realize you have a fighter jet." So, and they're like, "Yeah, but this is cool." And I was like, maybe to somebody that sees a fighter jet every day, like this is cool. But yeah, um, yeah, has direct solder on the side. I haven't. I've. What do I think about race flight? I've only flown. Sorry, I'm getting behind on the comments. Well, I've only flown race flight for other people's builds, and I thought they flew as well as out of the box as something that I had tuned myself, and I'm pretty particular about my tunes. So I was really impressed with it, but the developer guys, like the guy that was flying it is a guy Brian Banks, and he's the guy that I learned mini quads from, and he had trouble flashing the board and keeping up with the software, and you had to be on their Slack chat. It was a lot, and they didn't have a good development environment. Not develop. They didn't have a good user environment, and it was just like too big of a learning curve for me to jump into when I could make something in Betaflight fly as well. But now that it seems to be, I've wanted to try it myself and build a quad and do like a direct comparison. So once I do the race flight thing, like I will let you know my full feel on race flight. But at flying it, I've always liked the way that it flew. I didn't say Kiss was doo doo. I did Kiss. Come on, Rich. I didn't say Kiss was doo doo. I said that they haven't advanced in a year, which is in this hobby for them to still be competitive is pretty impressive. That they're still competitive without advancing their hardware much over a year. Yeah, get one of those giant quads and race it. Um, you should see it. It doesn't stop on a dime, so it's a big lumbering giant. But It's like a helicopter. Soft mount for race flight needed. I haven't flown it, so I don't know. But the ones that I have flown were hard mounted and it flew fine. And then I was, excuse me. All right, time to drink something. The drink of choice. And then I saw the people, a lot of guys are soft mounting their motors, and I started to do a video on that, recording black box data from it for the gyro logs. And then I just saw that Josh Bardwell put one up there. So if you're curious on whether soft mounting works or not, go check out his channel. He's got a video on it that shows exactly what I was going to do from the black box. So this soft mounting your motors does work. It does reduce the gyro noise. It is something, and I saw a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I'll just do that on my next build." It literally takes you 10 minutes to pull your motor up, put some tape underneath of it, and put it back down. So I think I'm going to modify what I was going to do and do a different comparison on the motors. Okay. Damn Bardwell. No, he's I think we cover a lot of the same stuff, and I've just been trying to cover stuff that he hasn't covered. So I think we both kind of have the same sort of like technical background, and he works with I think like RF stuff. So okay, let's get the soft mount everything. I think for the most part, soft mounting your motors might be enough, because I hard mount everything. I hard mount the flight controller. I've always hard mounted things, and it's just been getting those little gyro glitches out of it. Like you get some small gyro glitches where the gyro gets overpowered. So all right, so let's get into the drawing for this guy. So you can't see that. Of course I can see it. It's right here in the box. So let's get into the drawing for either this guy, or I hid the other one for myself, or the SW5 built up. So this is in no way sponsored by Secret Weapons, but they gave me a discount code to use, the Spoon FPV. It's good for 15% off at their store. All of this hardware was just purchased by me. It's something that and I guess I need to talk about these ESCs. So the Icon ESCs that are on there, these are the ones from Ready to Fly Quads. They come pre-flashed with D-Shot on them, and I was told by a friend that is a reliable source that he ordered his and they didn't come with the capacitor removed, so he had to desolder that himself. So I can't recommend these from Ready to Fly Quads anymore, unless you're willing to desolder the capacitor. If you get them without the capacitor, or with the capacitor on there, so that's kind of sad. So that happened. But so this is the quad. It's running the Emax RS2205S motors, which are the new ones that are out. The Icon 30 amp BL Heli S with D-Shot on them. It is running the you can't see inside of it, but it's running the Betaflight F3 flight controller. If I can open this guy up, the Betaflight F3 flight controller. That's an all-in-one. And I'm going to do a review on this very, very shortly. I really, really like it. I like it a lot. There's a couple of things that they need to do from a board designer's perspective for the ground planes to make it easier to solder. But as far as like the board itself, this is amazing. I'm running one of so there's a micro, the FrSky micro receiver in there. If you fly Spectrum, I can throw in a Spectrum satellite receiver. Like, just whoever wins, let me know. And if you don't want a micro receiver, I do have the FullSky, the full size, the standard go-to, but the micro ones were made for a much cleaner build. And it's running the Spoon Special TBS Unified Pro, like the cheap edition that does 800 milliwatts with my 5-volt regulator on the back of it. So, all right, let's go over and do the live stream. Alright, so here we are. Here's the video. We'll load your comments in. Alright. Here we go. Is everybody ready? Here we go. We're doing it. One comments, totes my goats. So Seek 3, and then I'll just go and check to see that Seek 3 is a subscriber of mine. There you go. And I'll get with Seek 3. So Seek 3, you're the lucky winner. Contact me on Facebook through Facebook Messenger on the Spoon FPV page. So through Spoon FPV, contact me over here through the Facebook Messenger, and I'll get you the quad out to you. So congratulations to Seek 3. He's not even on the stream, I don't think. So that's it for me. I hope the live stream went well, and I hope that, if you have any more questions, I can stick on, but I'm pretty much going to drop off here pretty soon. So yeah, thanks. Yeah, and any ideas for content? I know a lot of people said that they wanted to see the new Betaflight F3 reviewed, so I'll put that up pretty soon. But any ideas for future content, I'm in for you. See you tomorrow, Rich. So that's it. Congratulations to Seek 3. I'll hopefully he gets in contact with me soon and lets me know again. If you're still there, Seek 3, let me know if you want the BX5 or the SW5 and what receiver you want in it. So, thanks guys.